On his second day, he thought he should be training without using the Omnitrix. So he got his swords in both hands and started looking for some prey. He was stalking the prey like a wild animal, and when he saw it, he pounced and killed it. One was getting away from him. He knew he couldn't let it escape, so he turned into an alien. This one could not breathe on land. So he knew he had to get out of there quickly, so he jumped into the water. He also saw that this alien was an exceptional swimmer. So he got his swords back in his hands and took a quick gulp of water and started attacking more animals. He struck a cow, killed it. He was too worried to go swimming in the big ocean yet, but he knew that he would have to eventually. Then suddenly he started taking damage. Then he finally figured out why. Because he needed to breathe in water. So he took a bite of the raw meat, said it was disgusting, and started running and thinking, what should I head back to the village? Should I keep moving on? He chose he would move on. He turned into his fire alien. Saw some sharks in the river, shot them till they died. Thought it would be a better job for a different alien, but he didn't have time to do it. He saw that he was put out by the water. Then he timed out. So he ran for it. He came across a jungle. He had never been to a jungle before, but he knew that it was dangerous. Too many monsters in sight. So he ran. He ran away from the jungle. He was testing out his aliens when he turned into an alien that could fly. He started flying towards a house, but knew he would time out very quickly. So he landed. Saw that this person was nice, landed, and then waited for him to time out. Because if he knew that he was a ghost, he would kill him. So he turned back to normal and knocked on the door. He said, "Come in," and so I came in. Thought it would be best not to carry any swords, so I took them out. And the man turned out to be a wizard. Climbed up the stairs. Said I could stay there for the day. as long as he didn't touch any of his books. So I just standed there. Started fiddling with the Omnitrix. And he said, "What was that on your wrist?" And I said, you're used to seeing weird things, right?" He said, "Yes." So I turned into Accelerate. He said, "The Omnitrix. Give it to me." So he attacked me. I ran for my life. Good thing that this alien had increased speed and acceleration. That's why his name was Accelerate. I knew I couldn't run on water yet. So I activated my super speed again, saw a something in the distance, but knew I shouldn't go for it. I ran so fast I was set on fire. Kept running and running and running and running. Worried about the sharks, so I quickly swam to shore, grabbed my swords, and was ready to fight. But good thing they couldn't breathe on land, so I just ran. Killed another sheep. Thought it would be best to cook some meat for it. So I cooked it with some wool. So it was getting dark. So I slept under a tree for the night. In the morning, I checked out my levels, and it was level 9. I was wondering what would happen at level 10. If I would unlock a new alien. If I would learn more about it. So, I thought I would need more material, so I chopped down a tree. And while I was chopping down the tree, I was wondering what I could do with the Omnitrix. But I would have to save that for when it would come in handy. But at the moment, it wouldn't. So I crafted a wooden pick. Thought it wasn't the most efficient tool, but it would get the job done. So I grabbed up both my crafting table and my furnace, turned it into a heat blast. Thought it would be best to scare my village people so that they didn't come looking for me. Shot a fireball at the mountain, but it didn't reach. So I shot a fire beam, then a fireball. The fireball still didn't reach. So I got even closer, shot the fireball, and it exploded in a fiery rage. Burned down the forest. Thought it would be best to kill some animals for their meat. And I activated my Fire Fist ability. Turned it off. So I shot a laser, then a fireball. Thought that would be a good combo for the future. Then I slipped into the water. My powers were gone. Then they were back. These powers are confusing. So, I blasted more of the trees with my fire. Even a fireball once or twice. Alright. And I shot it again. Looked at the village. Killed a pig. Thought that it would be best not to return till they heard of my heroics. But then they were worshipping a statue that looked like my alien forearms. So, I thought that I would scare them by turning into forearms. But then I remembered that my aliens never found the one I wanted, so it would take a while. But once I knew that they were actually worshipping it and not trying to find it so that they could burn it at the stake, I would go and fight and find out. So, watch timed out again. So, I thought it would be best to parkour on the trees. Got my swords out. Just in case one of them saw me, I could knock him out before he could hurt me. So, I parkoured on the trees, trying not to be seen. Jumped. Dove. And hid. Tried to turn into forearms, but instead I turned into heat blast. I accidentally burned a tree, and I fell before I could put it out. So when I finally put it out, one of the townsfolk had seen me. I ran. Then I hid and watched to see what would happen. I saw a raven nearby pecking at me, so I shot a fireball at it, knocked it out. I hid. I saw that they set up a statue of Heat Blast. So I went over there and said, "Hey, that's Heat Blast, I know him." And they started worshipping him and thought I was lying, so they drove me out of the city. I knew I couldn't fight all of them, besides I didn't want to hurt them. I thought that it would be best to turn into Heat Blast and do it. I jumped over and said, "You're worshipping me, aren't you?" Started walking around the village like I was the king of it. Then they said that if I am who I say I am, I should be able to fight anything. So they challenged me to fight their greatest warrior. I knew that who the greatest warrior was, so I ran. But before I dove, I dove, and then I showed myself. They saw me and drove me out of the village again. Running from the village, I knew I turned into one of my aliens, thinking it would make me faster. I was still wondering what would happen when I reached level 10. Then I saw I had reached level 10. I looked at the Omnitrix to see if I had any new aliens. Very happy to see that I did. This one said it was called Blitzwolf. But then it timed out. I thought that this meant a sign that either every 10 levels or every other level I would gain a new alien. So I turned back into Blitzwolf and tested out my powers. I had the ability to see things, climb large objects, and super strength. Night vision as well. I slept under a tree on the next day. I woke up and saw some wolves. Turned into something that they would fear so that they didn't attack. And I didn't want the same thing to happen twice. So I ran. Then I pulled out my swords and they were afraid of steel. Maybe because they weren't normal wolves. They were werewolves. I ran. I gathered some apples from a tree that I knew they couldn't get. It turns out it was an apple tree. That's why it was dropping so many apples. So I saw more wolves, dove to the tops of the trees. Then I slipped. Seems whenever I'm near wolves, the Omnitrix starts making weird sounds. Turned into Ghost Freak because I knew I could fly. I saw the village and I kept on flying. I turned invisible so I didn't get seen. If I showed the village my powers, I knew they would be afraid. So I started flying towards the village, and for some reason, they accepted me. Because half of them weren't villagers. They were aliens. I didn't know why they didn't tell me. Maybe to conceal their secret, but now I knew that this village was an alien village. And that they would be okay with me having the Omnitrix. Or so I thought. I talked to one of the villagers, and he said that he was a bird alien, but that he wouldn't show his real form because his real form was ginormous. His species is related to aliens, he said, but it was a co-cluster. An alien that I would eventually unlock. He explained his alien species to me, and I thought I would name my future alien Way Big. Checked my level again to see if I changed again. Turned back into my new werewolf alien. Tested out his powers. Sonic screeches. I could climb blocks with ease. And I could jump extremely far, see mobs. And all mobs feared me. I knew that this would come in. And once I tested out my abilities, I knew that it was a little bit harder for them to trust a werewolf. But seeing the more my powers, the more they understood how powerful I could really become. So, now that they've accepted me as someone they can trust, I return to the village to get a good night's rest. Or so I thought. When I returned, the bird alien threatened me, so I turned into an alien and ran for my life. I saw that I should probably head back, but I was too afraid. So, once I turned back to normal, I was set on fire immediately. I dove into some water to cool myself off. So, I ran to the forest I burned down and thought, and I finally figured out every time I click on one of my newer aliens, it always gave me that. So I knew that would be useful in the future. Thought that in the future I should also test out upgrade on a furnace. But for now, that should be good. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this storyline video. Please consider subscribing. I will do a lot of future content on this channel, even if it's like, I'm not sure what type of stuff, but yeah. See you later.